Hey everybody, Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. Let's do a comparison of two premium down sleeping bags available on the market. Let's talk about the Thermarest Hyperion 20 degree down sleeping bag and the Sierra Designs Nitro 20 degree down sleeping bag. Both of these bags are premium quality. They have a high price tag, nearly $400 and just over $300. So yes, you are investing quite a bit of cash into each of these bags, but they both have their pros, they both have their cons, and they are great options to consider, and they make for a great comparison as well because they each have different types of uses, and there's just from great companies that are trying to do sustainable things with their manufacturing processes and create a quality product for you. So let's talk about some of the similarities of what we're talking about today. These are both down fill sleeping bags. You've got an 800 fill down on the Nitro. You've got a 900 fill on the Hyperion. So that's going to equal some weight difference between the two. You have a 10 denier fabric that is used on the Hyperion and a 15 denier fabric that also will change the weights of these. So just under 2 pounds for the regular size on the Nitro and just over 1 pound. So there is a big ounce difference between these two bags, but a lot of that comes into the fabrics that are used, the downfill power, as well as the cut and shape of the bag, which allows for, again, those pros and cons to present themselves. Great things to know about these bags is the down that is used in them is a responsible down standard certified down, which is great to know that you're getting something that is ethically sourced and they are focused on that in their production process. Another thing to note about the bags is DWR treatments on them don't have the PFC chemical in them, which is great, so PFC free. And it just is awesome to see companies focused on that kind of application, again, for their production and manufacturing processes. So with that, let's jump into talking about each one individually, and we're gonna start with the Sierra Designs Nitro. So here we go with the Sierra Designs Nitro. This is a company that I've really enjoyed their sleeping bags. And the Nitro is a zippered mummy style type of sleeping bag. So you've got that classic mummy shape that you would expect from a mummy bag, but you also have plenty of room to move around in this bag. It's got a good shape to it. Yes, it's tapered from the head end down to the foot end, but you've got great baffle systems that are in it. The baffles are actually a lot narrower than you might see on other sleeping bags. I believe they're actually 5 inches instead of 6 or 7 inches that you see from some other manufacturers. But let's talk about the head end of the bag first and move to the foot end like I do in almost all of my sleeping bag videos. So you've got about a halfway zipper that goes down. You've got a large draft tube right here, which is actually done pretty good at eliminating a snag that you get from running your zipper. So that big draft tube, it's got some rigidity to it with the stitching that is on there, and hasn't really been an issue with the snagging that you get a lot from your bags. So we zip this down, and you're a 15 denier nylon fabric on the inside and the outside. To be quite honest, it's not the softest, most enjoyable fabric when compared to the Hyperion, but it's still great. And it's soft and it's comfortable and all of that, so I can't really complain too much about it. But then you've got this draft collar across the front, which is really nice because it's sewn in such a way that you can tuck your shoulders around and really close off and keep that warmth that your body is trapping inside of the bag in there, which is really nice. So I really enjoyed that aspect of the bag. And then a good sized hood that doesn't feel too like claustrophobic or anything when you really cinch that down around your face and around your head. So really nice construction. It's just a great, beautiful design that's not too crazy for a mummy bag style. If we flip this over onto the back side, I want to note these loops that they have sewn into the bottom of the bag. like you would get from a quilt or some sleeping bags, which I'll actually show you here in the Hyperion, you could put together some shock cord and create some homemade DIY pad straps with some toggles and shock cord to be able to attach that to your pad so you're not shifting around as much. One of the things that I absolutely love that is a huge bonus to the design of all of the Sierra Designs bags is this element here. This is a opening in the foot box that allows you to lift your knees up, slide your feet out of the bag, and vent and just regulate temperature that way instead of being trapped into your bag. Does this add weight? Yeah, a little bit, because it's more fabric and it's more down inside. It's just more elements and stuff in the bag total, but it's not enough to be a deal breaker or to be a big issue. Like, that is one of my favorite things about the Sierra Design sleeping bags. They're just really smart with that design to be able to regulate temperature and vent your feet and just enjoy that aspect a little bit more. So now let's talk about the Thermarest Hyperion 20 degree. Like I mentioned earlier, this has a 10 denier nylon fabric, and one of the first things that you notice about it is how soft this bag is to the touch. It feels really nice against your skin. It's a very comfortable sleeping bag, and that's one of the great things about it, that this should feel comfortable to sleep in. And if I compare it directly to the Nitro, this is way more crinkly. It's not quite as soft. This is a way softer, more comfortable experience in that case, but really it's not a deal breaker. It's not something that is going to be the end of the world that this is not comfortable. I'm not saying that. This is just a more comfortable feel to the touch against your skin. Now, the first thing that I'll talk about with the Hyperion is the shape of it. This has way more of a taper at the hips down to the foot end, which again saves weight, but it also restricts available movement on the inside of the bag when you're actually in there. So it really is just kind of a preference thing when you compare it to the shape of the Nitro or other bags. But yeah, you do definitely get a more tapered feel here, but that does also have a bonus to it, because you're not having to warm up air inside of the bag that's a bunch of empty dead space, and that can be an issue with big bags. If you're not able to fill that space up, it's going to take longer for you to fill that space and get it warm because of all that dead airspace. Notice the width of the baffles on this bag is a lot wider. The only thing that is really going to do is allow for down to shift a lot more, because it's got more space to move, but not a huge deal, really not a huge deal. Now, something that Thermarest has done with this bag that I don't know necessarily is the way with the Nitro is 70% of the downfill is on the top of the bag versus 30% on the bottom. Now, the reason that they do that is they anticipate you using an insulated or the correct sleeping pad for the conditions that you're going to experience on your trips, because when you are laying down, that down is being compressed and it is not providing the full insulation value that you get. So using an insulated sleeping pad on the bottom, you've got a little bit of insulation value from the down just itself and the fabric, but then the primary warmth aspect is going to come from the 70% of the down being on top of you. So really just that zoned type of system that is making it so that you're using your system correctly. The head end of the Hyperion is way more of a hood shape. It's more ergonomic in that case, but it allows for it to cinch down really nice on your head. And you've got a decent amount of width on the shoulders, but I will say that the Hyperion is more narrow in the shoulders than the Nitro. So again, they're trying to save weight, but it also is just a different shaped bag for you to be using. The zipper on this is, again, the same half zipper that you get with the Nitro. And you've also got a similar draft tube, but it doesn't have that same, I mean, you've got a piece of grosgrain ribbon that is stitched in here, but it doesn't provide the same type of snag-free experience that, like right there, I already got a snag, that you get from the Nitro. Now, it sounds like I'm talking a lot of negatives about the Hyperion, and that's not the case. I really enjoy this bag. But we're doing a comparison here, and the things that I love about this aren't necessarily incorporated on the Hyperion. But the amount of weight that you save with the Hyperion is pretty amazing, and it's very, very soft. Now, you'll notice, I don't know if you actually can see the difference in the amount of loft that you have here on the top versus here on the bottom, but it's very apparent to me. So again, that 70-30 difference that you get between the down being on the bottom versus the top. Footbox is a nice, generous shaped footbox that allows for your feet to actually sit up straight and not have to cant them out to the side, which is really nice. But you don't have that aspect of the ability to vent on the bottom. But let's talk about these right here to finish up the Hyperion. These are these Synergy Link pad straps. So these are built into the sleeping bag. They can be removed, but these allow you to wrap this around your sleeping pad and keep the bag in place a little bit better, just like pad straps would work for a sleeping quilt that you would get from any other manufacturer. So now the question that you guys might be asking is, which of the two bags would I choose if I could only choose one of them? And honestly, that is a hard decision, and I'm not going to answer it because I love them both, and that's the reason that I have both of them. But I like the aspect of how much room and space to move around in the bag, the less claustrophobic feeling that you get from the Sierra designs. And this vented footbox is an incredible aspect, design feature that I absolutely love. Now, it's heavier in weight than the Hyperion, and that's where the Hyperion wins. If I am just being a gram weenie, trying to count ounces and save as much weight as possible, then the Hyperion is the definite choice and way to go, because 1 pound 4 ounces for the 20 degree, right at about 1 pound for the 32 degree version. This is just under 2 pounds, 1 pound 15 ounces is the weight. So yeah, you've got so many differences between the two, but if it really came down to it, I probably would choose the Sierra designs for the price, the ability to move around in it, not a huge weight penalty, in that vented footbox. So I guess I did just answer the question a little bit, but both bags are fantastic. They have their pros and cons, but there you go. That is a comparison between the Sierra Designs Nitro and the Thermarest Hyperion. Great sleeping bags. Curious what you guys think about these two and which one you would choose. Appreciate you guys watching today. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Hope you have an awesome day. We'll catch you on the next video. See you later.